So the last couple days have been absolute hell for me. I'm going to show you all in a minute why I'm saying this. I did get my son arrested. I felt like I had no other choice.
Companionship, control, cash, corrections, coffin, and cash out.
No, I did not want to criminalize him. I felt like I was unsafe in my own home. I'm going to show you a clip of what has happened. And I'm also going to come back to give you a lot more context about how we led up to that.
Coming to my room, taking my stuff.
I need you to move outside of my space.
I'm not doing nothing.
You're bullying me in my own house.
Take a moment to listen to the language that she uses, the labels that she uses. Sometimes when you have adverse childhood experiences, you develop the victim mindset that people teach you to say, especially about your sons. Remember how I talked about that companionship, right? Men, women, family, and friends have abandoned her. She looked for her son to fill those emotional voids, and now she feels betrayed. She feels bullied. She feels like a victim. Dr. Martin Seligman talked about this. It's called learned helplessness. Learned helplessness. Just take a listen.
Because there's no man in here. If there was a man in here, you wouldn't be doing this.
I know.
You're taking advantage of me. That's what you do. You take advantage of people who can't stand up to you because you're bigger than me. That doesn't make you cool.
This is crazy.
That doesn't make you cool.
You forced me to be here to make me go through this.
And you're terrorizing me every day. As always, you like to bash the parents, so y'all gonna tell me I'm wrong. But before he got arrested, I said to him, just get the phone. Let's start over. Just get the phone. You don't have to go downtown. Just get the phone. He looked at me dead in my face and said, no, I don't have no phone. And put his arms behind his back. When he got out, he proceeded to hack in every account I had.
So let's talk about what you're seeing in this video. This is what I theorize as the 6 C's of a black boy's development when raised under these types of homes with people who are not qualified to be developers and teachers of boys throughout their 18 years of that temporary period of life called childhood. And I'm not saying the men are better qualified, because most black men are not qualified to be fathers as teachers and developers of humans either. Why? They came from these same type of homes. Now, this isn't about blame. This is about pattern, epistemological knowledge. So set aside your feelings and let's gain the knowledge. Here we go. What are the 6 C's? Companionship, control, cash, corrections, coffin, and cash out. Companionship, control, cash, corrections, coffin, and cash out. Let's start with companionship. I wanted someone to just love me and never leave. This is attachment. Many black boys are born not out of strategy, not out of family planning, but sorrow. The mother experienced adverse childhood experiences and abandoned by partners, family, and friends. Her emotions, it's a void, and that boy is expected to fill that void as a companion. This distorts the attachment cycle. He learns to perform emotional availability, not develop it. Let's go to number 2, control. You're mine. You came out of me. You don't get to say no to me. So when the boy starts to grow into his own thoughts, his own needs, and starts to express boundaries, the mother feels betrayed. The relationship flips from love to possession. Now it's you owe me for being born. I didn't get to feel, I didn't get to do, so why do you? And that threatens his autonomy. He learns compliance over being about the self. Number 3, cash. Babies cost money, right? $300,000 to be exact. Look at Forbes. Look at Lending Tree. Babies cost money. And eventually the emotional and behavioral demands of the child exceed her capacity. He then becomes a cost because it costs money to raise children. This is where you get child support, welfare benefits, housing benefits, things of that nature. He's a stream of income, or at least a justification for it. Let's look at number 4, corrections.
So the last couple days have been absolute hell for me. I did get my son arrested. I felt like I had no other choice. No, I did not want to criminalize him. I felt like I was unsafe in my own home.
Once he starts to grow a little bit more, I can't control him anymore. So let me let someone else do it. And that's what you're seeing in this video. As the boy enters adolescence or teenagehood, if you will, he's too old to cuddle and too grown to control. So the mother turns to systems, discipline from the police, the courts, psych hospitals, or even letting the streets take over. This is systemic outsourcing. Punishment replaces parenting. Number 5, the coffin. Now the world finally sees me as a mother. It's identity. If that boy dies by gun violence, neglect, or incarceration, his death becomes her rebirth. Now she's a grieving mother, finally seen, finally supported. And even if she never developed the child, she is celebrated for losing him. The death becomes an emotional currency of validation. And then 6, cash out. Now it's your turn to give me what he could never give me. That's when they start looking at you. The funding becomes from the funeral, the GoFundMe, the t-shirts, the news cameras, the nonprofits. Oh, and don't get shot by the police. Now the government gives a payout. Others start to donate. Other mothers start to donate. The son becomes a profit center only after he's gone. This isn't about shame. Can you all spot the patterns? These are the patterns. This is about the truth. Because if we're not willing to name what's happening, black boys will continue to be buried for someone else's feelings. You can't raise what you only created for company. You can't teach what you don't know how to teach. You can't develop what you're trying to control. And you cannot cash out on a child you never cashed into with skills. Parents need the knowledge, the skill, the ability, the competence, the confidence, and the capacity for home life skills called family and consumer sciences, right? Early child development. There are classes, parenting classes, classes at your local college. We come from a culture where they say there's no manual for parenting, but you live down the street where there's a library. Do you even have a library card? Do you go look at the theories? There are things that can teach you about children. But if you don't want to learn, this is a situation that you've created for yourself, and it's not your fault. I give you grace. It's not your fault. It's what you were taught. But until you separate yourself from that culture that doesn't want to learn, and you go on to learn what you need to learn and build your village, you can build your village. You can build your village. I help parents do these things all the time. You can do it, but you have to want to do it. You have to want to do it. This is Instructor Mike, and you've been trained. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?